You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Thanks for checking out the podcast and YouTube channel on Conroe Culture. Don't forget, we're live on Lone Star Community Radio every Monday at noon. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube. Want more information? Visit the show page on irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture for past shows and learn how to sponsor the show.
How are y'all doing today? Monday, June 26, 2017. We are live at Lone Star Community Radio in downtown Conroe with Conroe Culture. I'm your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. And we are, of course, live every Monday at noon. And we hope to give you some information about things that are going on in downtown Conroe, throughout Montgomery County. And today especially, we're going to talk with the Geeks, of course, and I'll get back to that, but about things that are happening 4th of July, because that's our next holiday coming forward. So, of course, you can listen on 104.5, 106.1, and on our city TV on Sudden Link on Channel 12. Today, I have some wonderful guests on the show. I have Candace Rodarte. She's a gratitude geek, and she will tell you about her internet marketing business. And then I have Russ Bell of the Best Geeks Technology and Computer Repair Service, and he's going to give us some information about you just think everything is private, and it is not. But more about that in a few minutes. So, how's your summer going? I think we're about halfway into the summer. I think 4th of July kind of makes the halfway point. But this next big weekend coming forward is the 4th of July weekend. And irregardless that the 4th of July is on Tuesday, people tend to start taking off, I think, Thursday, Friday. So it's a big extended weekend. But there's a lot of things going on. So Bridgewood Farms, the oldest nonprofit in Montgomery County, it is celebrating 50 years this year. They are having their 14th annual Burn Your Buns bike ride on the 4th of July, and online registration is ongoing at bridgewoodfarms.org. And you can still sign up, of course, online, but you can do late registration beginning at 6 a.m. on the morning of the 4th. And the ride starts at 7:30 in the morning at Bridgewood Farms and ends at Bridgewood Farms. And that is located on Rose Road in Conroe, Willis area. The bike ride is 21, 32, and 64 miles. Now, I rode through this last week, and it's not so bad. It's a leisurely bike ride of 21 miles or so. In non-congested areas, and you do go through Willis, and then you go through Shepherd Hill Road up through the back end of Willis. And there are some rest stops and water and anything you need. But then when the bikers, I say bikers fondly, it's not motorcycle, it's cycling. When they get back and they return, there's going to be a picnic lunch of watermelon and hot dogs and a lot of fun stuff. So if anybody's looking for a fun way to start off their holiday, they can still use some volunteers to help prepare the hot dogs, cut up the fruit, the watermelon, the bananas, the oranges, all of that, and then continue on with their day. So other things that are going on, of course, the Woodlands will have their annual parade starting at 9 a.m. and they have 150 entries. Now, of course, they all line up at the Woodlands Methodist Church and wind through the area there through Market Street. And there's a whole lot of people who watch the parade in Market Street. And that's 1.3 miles. All of the Woodlands 13 community pools will be open free of charge to the public from 10 to 6 on the 4th of July with special refreshments and activities. And Roman Forest will host the only fireworks display in East Montgomery County that night, starting with a parade at 10 a.m. And they also have a festival starting at 2 p.m. and goes on through dusk when the fireworks start. They have crafters, food vendors, dunking booths, snow cones, barbecue, hot dogs. I mean, there's so much going on in Montgomery County. There's a lot of festivals and parades and, of course, fireworks. That's the highlight. Vendor booths are still available at Roman Forest for $45. Now, if you want to find out more about how to get involved with that, please send me a note, a private message on Conroe Culture Facebook page, and I will answer you. So fireworks are going to be over Lake Conroe through the Conroe Chamber at dusk. And you can find out more information about sponsorships or how to get involved in watching the fireworks from where the Conroe Chamber is on conroe.org. Also in the Woodlands is their annual Red, Hot, and Blue Festival. And that starts at 6 p.m. at Town Green Park with hot dogs. They also have a hot dog eating contest. So live music, face painting, and so much more. They have fireworks that are viewable at Town Green Park, Waterway Square, Creekside Village, and Lake Woodlands Drive. So those are some things that you can look for as far as the fireworks go and everything going on. Now, another fun thing that was just given to me by one of the Geeks is that you can take your kids to the Grand Theater, and they have different showings every week, but this coming week they have Tuesday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. to see the Iron Giant. I don't know who the Iron Giant is, but for $4, does it matter? I mean, take your kids and they can watch the show, then they get popcorn and a drink. So what a deal. I mean, you can take all the neighborhood kids for that matter.
It's a great, if you've got 7 kids, with 7 kids it'd be still affordable.
If you had 7 kids, correct.
8 times 4 is $24. That is affordable.
They're not going to sit in my Mini Cooper is all I got. Not with seatbelts. And then also keep in mind the farmers market, the first Thursday farmers market is always the first Thursday. And we always have it at Founders Plaza over by the Owen Theater at the corner of Main and Metcalf. But we are moving it July, August, and September. It will be at Heritage Park, at the same place the free concert is, which is just 2 blocks down. Same time from 4 to 8 p.m. And that way you can listen to live music, buy your produce, shop some of the different items they have. And what a deal. One place, one shop stop, you know? So again, Farmers Market is July 6th, and that will be on our Experience Downtown Conroe Facebook page, the Isaac Conroe Farmers Market Facebook page, and Conroe Culture. So don't say you weren't informed, just saying. Okay, so tonight, Monday Madness with Caleb of the Homegrown Tomatoes. He will be hosting the open mic at the Corner Pub. Fred McIntosh with Charles Peters will be at the Red Brick Tavern down the street here on Simonton at 7:30 p.m. So you can listen to blues, alternative rock, country rock, and here's the other thing, it's free. Both of these venues are free to go and listen to this great music. Tomorrow, June 27th, you can hear Jeremy Bankhead. He will be hosting the open mic at the Corner Pub, as he does every Tuesday. Thursday, you can hear Buck Yeager at the Red Brick Tavern beginning at 8 p.m. and open mic with Adam McFarlane and Josh Pitt at the Corner Pub. Again, free music. So come hang out later in the evening and listen to music at one of our 2 great music venues. And you know, we're going to have a 3rd music venue coming up mid-July. That is going to be the Pacific Yard House, fondly known as the Conroe Sparkle, has been re-owned, and they are going to be a restaurant and another band venue. So there's going to be 3 venues to listen to live music. Friday night, you can hear Zach Walther at the pub beginning at 9 and Eddie Sayez at the Red Brick Tavern. And the monthly art experience at Conroe Coffee, which is right next door to me, is going to have their artwork from Anna. She's a single mom who pushed through as a talented self-taught artist. So go by and see her exhibit from 6 to 9, then just bar hop or whatever they call that. What is that called? Bar crawling?
Pub crawl.
Pub crawl. Okay, sorry. You could pub crawl to the Corner Pub or the Red Brick. I guess.
How do I know that?
See, I don't know that. There's a reason. And you can go to these venues after you go to Conroe Coffee and see the artwork. Saturday night, you can see JJ and the Stone Ponies at the Red Brick, and They will be playing rockabilly, so there's no lack of fine music in downtown Conroe. Now, the Conroe Parks and Recreation has a lot of upcoming ongoing events. And you could go to their website to find out more details, but I can tell you they have the Teen Acting Camp starting July 6th through the 20th. That's next week. And this is a really neat workshop because not only will they have the kids, the youth involved in doing drama, but they will also produce The Sound of Music. They will learn costuming and set design, choreography. So it gives them, some more skills to work with, and it isn't just the drama. There's other components that are valuable when you put on a production. And of course, we have two great places, the Owen Theater and the Crichton, that puts on a lot of productions. So that is July 6th through 20th. And you can learn to watercolor at the Conroe Art League, another downtown venue at the Madeley Gallery, right next to the Red Brick Tavern. Classes are ongoing, and you can go to their conroeartleague.org to find out when those classes are. Now, speaking of performances, we have two new performances coming up at the Crichton and the Owen starting July 7th. We have the premiere of Mary Poppins at the Crichton, and at the Owen will be 9 to 5, the musical. So, again, more happening in downtown Conroe. Pioneer Camp for kids 8 to 11 years of age will be at Heritage Museum, and that is July 10th through 14th. So after you go to the movies at the Grand Theater for your $4, go to Pioneer Camp, and they will learn about butter churning, candle dipping, log sawing, beekeeping, and more, although those things sound pretty interesting to me. And it is one place where they can do it and get real experiences. So you can go by Candy Cane Park in Conroe and find out about that at the museum itself. So, also just given to me, Conroe Parks will have a pickleball tournament. I don't really know what pickleball is, but it's supposedly an up-and-coming sporting event. And that is $20 a team. They will also host volleyball tryout skills and drills for girls 6th through 8th grade. And you must sign up by July 8th for that. And you can also learn to swim. Did you know that?
I did.
You can learn to swim through the City of Conroe Parks and Rec. That's all the information I have, and we are going to take a little break and be back with Candace Rodarte, one of the fabulous geeks. I am Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture.
A Lone Star Community Radio is ready for the summer. If you or anyone you know is looking for summer internship opportunities, a Lone Star Community Radio is a great place to grab the mic and be on the air. A Lone Star Community Radio offers a great opportunity to those interested in learning about the radio world all year round. Be an on-air personality, talk show producer, or YouTube, TV, podcast editor. Contact the station at info@irlonestar.com or call the station's message line at 936-647-3776.
We are looking for sponsors. Do you want to partner with Conroe Culture? Contact us on irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture for current rates and statistics of our listenership.
And, excuse me, and we are back at Conroe Culture. I am your host, Margie Taylor. So we're going to get right into our guests. My first guest is Candace Rodarte, and I'm going to let her tell you about what she does that's so geeky. Candace.
Wow, I wasn't expecting you to do that.
Do you want to talk about pickleball first?
Well, no, we can talk about pickleball's easier because it's right here on my phone. Tell me about pickleball I
had no idea what it was.
I was curious because I didn't know what pickleball was either, so I looked it up on the internet, and it is a combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong. It's played indoors or outdoors on a badminton-sized court with a slightly modified tennis net, and it's played with a paddle and a plastic ball with holes, so kind of like a wiffle ball.
Oh, okay.
And you can play it as doubles or singles, so it's like miniature tennis.
I think we need to give it a shot.
It sounds like fun to me.
I think that's something that needs to be done in the street.
A smaller court means there's not so much running around.
Oh,
and
okay.
And a wiffle ball, a ball with holes, means that you don't have to hit it as hard either. So
I still don't think I'm going to be hitting my head with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
That's true.
so how long have you been in business doing what you do?
So my husband and I started an internet business in 1998. And
Okay.
if you remember, in 1998, the only way to get online was dial-up.
Yes.
Yes. So what we sold was custom furniture. So we sold high-end custom furniture in 1998 through a website.
How'd it go?
It was fantastic. By 2004, we had retail stores in 25 states, and we were selling furniture all over the country. So it was fantastic. And then 2008 hit, and we had to modify the way we did business. And we only sold on the internet and through these retail stores, but the retail stores found us on the internet.
Neat.
So I had to learn about search engine optimization when that phrase didn't even exist. And I had to learn how to market to my target client, which meant I needed to identify who my target client was. So 2008 hit, and we decided that we could no longer sell wholesale because it wasn't paying the bills. So we did something remarkable. We tripled our prices, and we sold exclusively retail, no more wholesale, after tripling our prices. And our business survived beautifully.
Smart business
Yes,
people.
Yes, our business survived beautifully, and we did business with movie stars, country and western Grammy-winning artists, Oscar-winning artists. So we've done very well internet marketing. But what I learned through all this, through this 19 years of internet marketing, is that the internet is not the end-all means to sales. That belly-to-belly is still the way that you need to sell.
Absolutely.
So something that I implemented about 5 years ago was sending thank you cards and gifts. And it did so well for our business that I started sharing that concept with other people. Now, lucky us, my husband decided that he didn't want to make furniture anymore. So about a week ago, we closed up shop. So our custom furniture business is no longer open for business. And it's a kind of a liberating feeling knowing that after almost 20 years, we did something so fantastic. And speaking of Conroe Coffee, my husband just took down his display. He's also an artist in addition to a furniture
I see the
maker.
nails on the wall.
And he just took down his art. So the next artist coming in is going to replace what he was in Conroe Coffee for the last month.
That's
So
great.
He's a very talented artist as well.
Yes, he is. I've seen his work. So, what is he going to be working on now since you sold the business?
He's going to do art.
Oh, okay.
He's going to do art.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And then you can help market him through all of the information you've acquired.
Exactly. But I don't believe that internet marketing is the way to go like it used to be. I think there's a bubble coming, and that it's the folks that do the belly-to-belly marketing that are going to stay in business.
Talk to me about that.
So with internet marketing, it's not personal. And there's a lot of people out there who still want to be internet superstars, who want to be famous on the internet, and that's great for them. But the average person isn't going to become famous on the internet. The average person is going to become famous in their community doing what you do, giving service to others. And you are the perfect example of what I preach.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But you are. You're the perfect example of what I preach. You give service to others through your radio show and through all the community activity that you do, through all the promotion that you offer. And in return, people recognize who you are, and they give you referrals for the work that you do for your paid gigs, right?
True.
So I know I've given you referrals for your paid gig. So I think I have. I know I have. So
We're friends, so I'm sure. Yes.
I'm sorry. So that belly thing. If you had just been on the internet, I probably never would have known who you were. But because you're out there in the public, making a presence for yourself, making yourself known, people know who you are, and they know that you do your PR work.
And it's about trust.
Exactly.
You don't develop that trust unless you have a relationship.
Exactly.
So when you go to a networking thing, let's say, let's just say you went to, I don't know, which ones are you involved in?
Well, I'm the co-founder of Connecting Conroe Businesswomen, which meets once a month. And then I occasionally attend Montgomery County Pros.
Right.
So those are my two groups.
So if you were to go there and there was somebody new there, do you think it's beneficial for someone to just hand you a card and you're going to do business with them?
Oh, no, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I don't even carry business cards in my purse most of the time because I would rather create a relationship with somebody than hand them a card. I think it's so tacky to just walk up to somebody and hand them your card.
I agree wholeheartedly. when you go to some of these things and they just pass out cards, I always, honestly, I just throw them out because I don't know this person and I'm not going to do business with this person unless we've had a conversation. Now, if we've legitimately had a conversation and I want to follow up with you, I will ask for your card.
Exactly.
And that's usually when I give cards out, is when somebody asks for it.
Somebody has to earn your card, or you have to earn
Exactly.
the right to give your card to them.
I like that. That's very good. So I also have another thing that I agree with you. It's about storytelling.
Exactly.
Because I see myself as a storyteller, and tell me about that.
So I just gave a workshop last Thursday on crafting the perfect 30, 60-second commercial for your business. And throughout the workshop, I kept repeating stories. And about halfway through, I said, how many stories have I told you so far? And it was like 6 or 7 into the workshop. And the point was, are you ever going to remember the things that I'm telling you, the things that I'm trying to teach you? No, but you're going to remember the stories that I'm telling you. And those stories have taught you the lesson. So you're not going to remember my bullet points, but you're going to remember my stories. So when you're out there sharing about your business, you don't want to say, well, I teach people how to share gratitude with their clients. I teach people how to internet market, which I don't offer that service, but I make custom furniture. Those don't help, but the stories help. I can say, well, there's a world-renowned actress who has ordered from my husband 4 times, and she loves his work. That's a story, and it's true. It's a story. So you're going to remember that. Wow, they make, her husband makes furniture for movie stars. But you're not going to remember that I just make custom furniture if I tell you I make custom furniture.
Well, it's also about emotions.
Exactly.
So when you tell a story, you're hoping to evoke an emotion from someone. And emotions sell because they remember. They remember that they were excited. They remember that you made them sad because you told them something sad about yourself, let's say, and they'll remember that. Or how you made them feel. It's how that you made them feel, basically.
Exactly. That's
right?
what Mary Kay Ash, that's what she said. People want to see people want you to see a sign around their neck that says "Make me feel important." It was some phrase like that. But people want to feel important, and they want to feel the emotion.
And if they have a relationship with you, they're more likely to do business with you.
Exactly.
Because they trust you.
Exactly.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Well, that's because I see you do it in your everyday life.
It's all about being yourself. I mean, that's really what it is. And having true relationships with people because they identify with that. And, this isn't about me, so I don't want to talk, but I'm just saying.
It is, but it's a conversation about something we agree with.
When people ask what I do, I say, I tell your story. That's basically what I do. I listen to what you're saying, and I tell the public your story.
And so what I do is I teach people how to tell their own story. But that doesn't mean that they aren't going to need you.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
So tell me what else you do.
Okay,
I know that you do a lot of things.
So about 6 months ago, I started a mastermind group for my networking group, Connecting Conroe Businesswomen. And the ladies in the group kept telling me, you need to be a business coach. You need to be a business coach. You need to be a business coach. So I went and got my business coaching certification. And then as soon as I got my certification, the ladies started hiring me. So I just fell into business coaching. But it was something that I was doing anyway because I have the experience. Mm-hmm. A lot of women want to do what I do. A lot of women want to build an internet business. And I try to tell them that I didn't build an internet business. I built a business based on relationships. Now, I talked on the phone, and that was the thing. Up until, just recently, they would find us on the internet, and then they would call me, and it was the conversation on the telephone that closed the deal. And so people who just want to sell on the internet and they never want to talk to anybody don't understand that the personal is still important, even if you're selling on the internet. So that's what I'm trying to teach to people is yes, you can have an internet business, but you need to do that belly to belly, which can be phone to phone. Right. I agree.
So what is this lessons you learned from a Nazi soldier?
Oh man. Okay. So everybody has people in their lives that make a huge impact. And when I was 19 years old, I drove a cute little Volkswagen Rabbit convertible. It was adorable, but it was 10 years old. And I lived in California, and I moved to the San Francisco Bay Area. And I quickly learned that at 19 years old, auto mechanics like to take advantage of 19-year-old girls, especially ones that drive cute little convertibles. And that's not to say that all auto mechanics do, but in my case, it happened one too many times, and it was really stressful because at 19 years old, even though I was out there on my own, it was still, I still needed my mommy and daddy every once in a while.
I understand that.
So we had a mechanic in the little town of Castroville, California, where I grew up. It's a town known for their artichokes. It's the artichoke capital of the world. My sister actually ran for artichoke queen one year, and Marilyn Monroe was the very first artichoke queen. So it has a long tradition, and it's a beautiful place, very, very beautiful place. So anyway, our mechanic was Hans, and so whenever I needed work done on my car, I would just go home and have Hans work on it. It was a 90-minute drive, and sometimes I'd have to borrow my mom's car to get back to work in San Francisco. But so Hans rarely ever talked about it, and actually I think he only mentioned it once. But he had been a Nazi soldier, and he was just a remarkable man. He might have been in his late 60s, early 70s when I knew him, and he always went out of his way to help people. So the first lesson that I learned was just to be nice and to help. Actually be nice. He always, always, always took time to talk to me. I was a 19-year-old kid, and he always took time to have a conversation with me and to find out how my life was going.
It's all about kindness.
All about kindness.
It doesn't cost anybody a thing to smile and be kind to others.
And so, my car was 10 years old, and it started to fall apart. Parts of it started to fall off, and I was driving around without a window handle. Remember when you have to roll down windows?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So my handle fell off, and I took my car in for something else, and he replaced my handle. And I got in my car, and I have a new handle. And I was like, Hans, you didn't have to do that. And he goes, I just keep them around in case people need them. So, he went above and beyond the call of duty. So that was the second lesson, was to always do more than you're asked for. Mm-hmm. And then we had a conversation one day when he talked about being a Nazi soldier. And I can still see the way his shoulders slumped and the way the shame on his face when he said, and I'm going to say a bad word here, but he said, I loved that son of a bitch. And Hans was such a good man. He was such a good man. But he fell in love with a demagogue because that demagogue convinced a whole country to do horrible, horrible things, and he fell in line with that. So what I learned, the most important thing I learned was that even super really amazingly awesome people can fall for demagoguery. And that was the hardest lesson, I think, to learn. Because you think that people are good at their very core, but anybody can fall for something that isn't so good.
False idols.
Yep. Yep.
I understand that. So, those are great stories.
It's really hard to say that story without crying.
I can tell you, because it means a lot to you.
It does.
And it makes you go back in your mind and you remember.
And I'm 47 years old, so that story has been in my mind for almost 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Some things make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a very kind, pay it forward. You're always smiling. And I know, everybody has hardships in their life. And, of course, you have had your challenges as well. But you're always paying it forward.
People, you never know what kind of impact that you have on people. I was a Girl Scout leader for 10 years, and we went to some event in downtown Houston, and there was a homeless person on the corner, and I had a sandwich in my bag, and I rolled down the window, and I handed the sandwich to the homeless person with a bunch of Girl Scouts in the back of my car. And a few years later, one of the girls repeated that story to someone in front of me. And I had no idea that was going to make that big of an impact. That simple act of kindness.
You make a lot of impact, and that's what people don't realize. That the simple smile can make someone's day. They might be having a really crappy day, and just being nice to people. Yeah. So we're going to have to take a break in a minute, but and then we'll come back for another couple of minutes. But you also have something on here that follow-up.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Most salespeople, people in sales, don't realize that it takes between 5 and 8 touches for somebody to come back and buy from you.
What do you mean by touches?
Text messages, phone calls,
some way of contacting and communicating.
Some exposures.
Right.
So an exposure can be, a Facebook post that they see. Mm-hmm. An exposure can be, a call that you make to them. an ad that they receive
People
in the
take
mail.
a long time. Well, especially in my business. They don't just go, oh my gosh, you're a PR person. Let's go do business.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's about relationships, and you have to call, and they got to get it, and then they have to understand, because a lot of people don't even know what public relations is.
No.
So, but yes, it takes 3 to 10 touches, and storytelling is very important. And you shouldn't just give them your business card. You should have a relationship first.
Exactly.
Although I'm not sure I would just leave my business cards at home. Because you just,
so the reason why I can leave my business cards at home is because I use this app on my phone that I can send them my information right on the fly. And I know that we need to go to commercial, so if you want to come back, I can share that when we come back.
Yes, let's go to a commercial. I'm Margie Taylor with Conroe Culture from downtown Conroe, Lone Star Community Radio. We will be right back.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? The Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your question. Get seen on TV or YouTube and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Sponsor your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
Don't forget, Conroe Culture is live online at irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 every Monday at 12 p.m. Be a guest, be a sponsor. Just contact us online at irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
And we are back from downtown Conroe, Lone Star Community Radio, the Conroe Culture News Show. I'm your host, Margie Taylor, and we are having a conversation with Candace Rodarte, and she's giving us a lot of great tips to help you in your business. And I think she wanted to tell us a little bit more.
Well, you asked me why I don't carry, or you said that you wouldn't carry business cards in your purse. And the reason why I don't is because I use an app on my phone that does my follow-up for me. So when I'm out and about and I meet a new person and I hit it off with them, and I will not do this with a complete stranger. I have to hit it off with them first. I will actually take a selfie with that person, and I will put it on the front of it. I will put it. I will open up the app in my phone. I'll put the photo on the cover of a greeting card, and then I'll type them a cute little message with my phone number, saying that I would love to get together for coffee, and I'll send that card to them along with maybe a 2-pack of brownies. And so the app does all the work for me, and it takes me about 1 or 2 minutes to make the card.
And what is that app?
It's called Send Out Cards.
Okay.
So, and I started using it about 5 years ago to send thank you cards to our custom furniture clients, and it was so successful. What I did with our custom furniture clients was I put a little note in the card saying that we would love to, you can also use a website. So in the cards to my custom furniture clients, I'd put a little note in there that says, we would love to see a picture of your furniture in your home. And the clients would send me pictures of their furniture in their home along with a testimonial. And so because of Send Out Cards, we were able to harvest is the only word I can use for this, because it was a harvest. It was a seed that was planted, and then I harvested it. We harvested dozens of testimonials with gorgeous pictures of furniture in people's homes, and those pieces of furniture, those pictures of furniture, sold the furniture for us.
Oh yeah, that's a home run.
So yeah,
fabulous.
So with my furniture clients, I used a caramel candies as the gift that I would send. But so for about $15, I was able to get thousands of dollars worth of free promotion.
That little act of kindness, right?
Yep.
So we're going to have to get on with my next guest, Russ Bell, here in a minute, the other geek who's sitting here next to you. But so how can people connect with you, Candace? What is the best way?
You can find me at Gratitude Geek on Facebook or Instagram. I don't do any of the other social media because, like I said, I like belly to belly. So Instagram and Facebook are the two ways to find me, and it's Gratitude Geek. And then my website is gratitudegeek.info.
Yes. And you also have a phone number?
It's 936-718-7099.
Well, thank you so much for being my guest.
I had a blast.
Well, I'm glad you did. I did as well. It's always fun and interesting to hear new things, and plus having you on the show as a friend of mine for years.
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and straight introduce Russ Bell. Russ, you need to put your microphone on. Lift it on. Put the headphone on. Okay, you ready, Russ? You are. You're ready to roll.
Testing,
Russ.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, Russ. Who are you?
Who am I?
What do you do?
I'm the owner of an IT support company for small businesses, and I want to say before Candace leaves, amazing guest, and everything that she said is so spot on. In fact, I sat here and learned some things as well about send out
And you
cards.
took notes.
Yes, I did take notes. You guys noticed?
Yes.
Oh, that's
yes.
awesome. This lady really knows what she's talking about, and I'm very impressed, Candace.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm an IT support specialist, and it's getting really bad out there. And I had 2 top secret clearances back in the day, one with the CIA, one with Department of Defense. And that was impetus of what's happening, because I got this letter in the stories, right? Talking about stories?
It's about stories, yes.
I got this letter from the Office of Personnel Management and Budget. Now, when you've had former clearances and you get a letter from them, it's never good. Never. And basically they said, sorry, but somebody broke into our computer system and stole all the information that you supplied when you applied for these top secret clearances. We hope that's not going to be of any inconvenience to you, and we'll give you a couple of years of privacy, the thing that they check to make sure you haven't been hit with the privacy hit. Bam, we'll give you a couple of years of that for free. I'm like, okay, that doesn't really make me feel good. And so,
wow.
Yeah, and so, I'm thinking, okay, if it can happen to the OPMB, Office of Personnel Management and Budget, it can happen to darn near anybody.
It pretty much.
So
even when you have those little lock things that say secure, tell me, you know what I'm talking about?
The little lock things on your website?
You know, at the bottom of the screen that says you're in a secure site.
Oh, yeah. Well, so basically, great question. It's actually part of what I talk about in my presentation, my seminars. It has HTTPS across the top. The S, a lot of people think stands for secure, and it's close. Interestingly enough, back in 2011, they found out that there was really a problem with that protocol, the secure protocol called SSL, and and it really wasn't secure for X number of months. Ouch. So how many times did we go to our bank, right, and all of these different places and give our private information and stuff like that? And then, of course, how many times do we use the same password? 40% of the people in the country use the same password. So once I know your password, I'm going to guess it might be the same for your bank. It might be the same for, you name it, your financial institutions or any of your sites, your Facebook, your social media accounts. Scary.
That is very scary. So you've been involved in working with technology for a very long time.
Yeah, since I was 14 years old. I'm 54, and in 1978-79, Radio Shack had a device called a TRS-80 microcomputer. 16K of RAM, and now we're talking 16 gigs of RAM. That's like an order of magnitude times an order of magnitude. I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a whole different world. Back in the day with mainframes, and that's when I had my first top secret clearances after I got out of school. Bam, we got into the mainframe world where there's mainframe computers, and you had rooms like the IRS in West Virginia had a whole bunch of space, wide open space. It's like a football field long, with less storage than we have now on our cell phone.
Right. I remember those rooms, and they had to keep them real cold too.
Yeah,
didn't they?
Oh gosh, I was so thin. Yeah, I was like about 137 pounds when I got out of high school. 6'3". You can kind of see that. Imagine what that looks like. And I was the guy chosen to go underneath the floor when it was freezing cold to run these cables to all the different places. Oh, drove me crazy. Oh yeah, lots of stories on that.
So you have a business called The Best Geeks.
Yeah, I have a business, and to me today that's not important. We're talking, Candace talking about giving, you talking about giving. I'm watching businesses fold and die because they're not prepared. I'm watching people's information go away. Let's say the pictures of the grandkids, the movies, all that stuff. I'm watching it disappear on a
What do you
daily
mean
basis.
disappear?
Well, I'm watching viruses get in. I'm watching the ransomware happen.
Ransomware,
Remember
yeah.
the ransomware last month, WannaCry in May, and all of that, and how it came about, and all the stuff that all the computers and the people that hit 150,000 different machines across, I think, 149 countries. It blew it all away, and people weren't doing some things, to try to prevent it, which was keeping their updates, keeping their programs updated, because there was one. It happened in May, and in March, when the update came out from Windows, it would have stopped it. Mm-hmm. And then they just don't put the updates on, and so they were attacked. But what we're finding out is people are getting hit. They don't understand what's going on. They think that because they're a small business, that no one's going to come after them, right? They're not General Electric. They're not IBM. So who's going to go after them? And 90% of the attacks that are happening on the internet are to small business owners. Yet all the small business owners think no one would ever touch me.
It won't touch them.
But I got something I got to tell you. I give some seminars around the area to try to educate some people. There is something, Margie, when you were growing up, did your parents explain to you that there was no such thing as a free lunch?
I knew that.
You ever hear that? Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's so true in the internet
Yep.
now, okay? Because you think about it, if you can remember the first time that you maybe had a Google account, or you went to Gmail, or you went to Facebook or whatever, there was a little checkbox at the bottom underneath what they call terms of service. It said it, terms of service. All of us just check it and move on, right? We don't have time. Some of the terms of service are 59,000 words long. That's longer than the book Hamlet, okay? Google, their terms of service, you have to dig for it, okay, when they talk about their privacy settings. They say here, and I'm going to read it off my thing because I have to read it. You give Google and those we work with a worldwide license to use, host, store, reproduce, modify, create derivative works, adaptations, or other changes we make so that your content works better with our service. And here's where it gets great. Communicate, publish, publicly perform, publicly display, and my favorite word of all, distribute such content.
Scary.
Distribute.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that to me doesn't sound good, right? And when I looked at Facebook's terms of service, you would think that if they were going to be totally out in the open about their terms of service, they would put it on the first page of their terms of service, so you don't have to go scrolling for it. 5 document levels deep. I click on one document that talks to another document that talks to 5 levels deep. I finally found wording eerie, similar to what they have on Google, basically saying you don't really have any privacy.
That it's all ours. We can distribute or do what we want.
Oh yeah, you can distribute, do what you want, but they can do whatever they want too, and they do.
And they do.
that.
And, I heard something today when I was preparing for the radio show that Google reads your Gmail, and that they said they will quit reading your Gmail as of today. Did you hear that?
I certainly heard that, and
I heard that today.
and 25 cents still doesn't buy you a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that, let's take a little break.
Okay.
And come right back. I'm here with Russ Bell of the Best Geeks, and I'm Margie Taylor. And this is Conroe Culture out of downtown Conroe, Lone Star Community Radio.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
are back. I am Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture News at Lone Star Community Radio. You know, you can listen on FM 104.5 and 106.1, or you could live stream irlonestar.com and listen in right now. So I am speaking with Russ Bell, and he is informing us of a lot of really interesting things about Google and Facebook and how your privacy is really not private, right?
Absolutely, and I've been told a long time by my father, don't ever believe what somebody tells you, check it out yourself. All you need to do is go Google terms of service, and you'll start to find it. It took me about 8 to 10 man-hours total to
That's
actually go through.
That's crazy.
That's right, to go through all this and find this information, but it's out there. But here, so big deal, right? Somebody can can have all your information. That's a little bit, if you don't have anything to hide, I guess that's okay. However, here's the problem. They're selling the information to what they call data brokers. There's a number of locations across the United States that one location in particular has, and this is a number, I don't know about you guys, but I cannot imagine what it means. They got 50 trillion transactions that we all have supplied to them. They know 1,500 individual things about every single one of us. Actually, right now, it's 96% of the population is in the database, and they know an average of 1,500 different things about us. Again, they sell that, of course, to banks, financial services, different companies like that. They buy them, but they're also completely unregulated. That means they can sell to anybody. So what if ISIS wants to target some people and they go to one of these data brokers that's unscrupulous and says, I want to know everybody that lives in this zip code that makes more money than this, that goes to a Catholic church that has 2 kids. I mean, they can get to an insane level, and now they've got a list and they can go target people. Yeah.
You just scared me.
That typically
Seriously.
happens, yes, absolutely. And privacy. So the other part of that is sometimes when I'm working with small businesses and they think, I really would like to move my business away from my physical location. I want to have it out there so we can do more things. Well, a lot of companies will say, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it. Well, I give them the pros and cons. The cons are the federal government can get access to your information. Let's say you're using Rackspace, for instance, or some big company that has, or even Microsoft for that matter, has a place you can put your data. They can tell Microsoft, you have to let us see the guy's information, and you can't tell him. There's something called a third-party doctrine exception to the Fourth Amendment that gives them that right.
So what can businesses or other people do to protect themselves?
Well, that's one of the things when I have my presentation and my seminars around the area, you get to this point, right? You scare the heck out of everybody.
And they're listening.
And they're listening. And then, I usually say, well, if I told you guys, hey, it's been fun, it's been real, but we're all done, you'd be hating me because I'm not telling you things that you can do. One of the things, I usually talk about the family. Families can do like 16 different steps that I have and about 14 different steps for small businesses. But the one for the families that I think is really important, well, there's a lot. Other than changing your password, because 40% of the people are using that. When you take a picture with your camera and you have what we call location settings on, everybody knows what GPS is, right? We all know that? Mm-hmm. So when you take that picture, the geolocator code, which is just the GPS coordinates, is actually encoded on the picture file. So now you take that picture and you put it out on social media. Let's tell a story. You're a grandparent. You go to your grandchild's home. You take this really cool birthday picture and you post it on your social media account. Now, basically, that now has the actual location of your kid's house with your grandkid living in it. You share it out on social media. Yes, it's just your people that initially see it if you do your privacy settings properly. But then once it's out of your control, now you have a picture of your child with their exact location out on the internet for people to play with and
So can't you just take off that location setting off your phone?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
You were like thinking right down my head. Yes.
Well, I mean, that's what I would
It's
do.
so simple. Yeah, you just right click on it. It's a property, and then you tell it to remove
Right.
it, and then you
Right.
save it back, and you're done. But people don't do that, right? They take it straight off with the. Go ahead.
How do you
Candace.
do that?
How you do that?
Through your settings.
Through your
Yeah.
settings on your phone or on your social media?
Well, so there's two ways. There's two ways you can do it. If you've already taken the picture, right click on the picture, click select properties, go down there where it talks about geolocator information and clear it out and save it.
So
That's a
that's
good
on
idea.
your computer.
That's
Well, if you took it on your phone, it would be on the picture itself where you
Okay.
save it on your phone, right?
right. Yes.
Is there a way
Yes.
to prevent the phone from
Yes.
doing
Turn off GPS.
that? Okay.
Yeah,
I never
your
had
location.
Take the picture. Turn it back on. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's just like all the different things. And then from a backup perspective, now this, I'm kind of getting into what small business owners really need to know. You have to talk to your current provider and make sure they are using what's called an image level backup and not just a regular backup. There's multiple sites. Make sure you talk to them and say, prove to me that I can be back up and running however fast you want to as an owner be back up and running. Is that a couple of hours?
Businesses need to back up their stuff.
Oh, they have to back it up,
Right.
but they've got to back it up the right way.
Okay, well, to get back with you, Russ, they can go to thebestgeeks.com. They can also find you on Facebook because you put a lot of really good information on your Facebook
Thank
page.
you.
Of course, it's not private, and so you put public information out there for everybody to read. And you are the authority on business IT consulting and support. And we appreciate you being on the show today, the both of you. There will be a podcast of this show available tomorrow if you want to review and see more about what you missed, and listen up and contact these wonderful people. I am Margie Taylor, Taylorized PR, Conroe Culture News at Lone Star Community Radio. We will listen in next week. Thanks for following up with us.
I get up and get to work on time. Step back when she crosses my mind. Catch my breath and get on with my day. Life goes on here in